All right. Lesson today is going to be graphing with a table. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is solve for y. Some of the equations are already going to be solved for y for you. But if it's not, you need to solve for y. And then we're going to make a table. Well, you can do this two ways. You can do it by hand, but it takes a while. Or you can use the calculator. We're going to use the calculator to save us time. After you make a table, you're going to plot points. So after you plot points on your graph, you're going to draw your line. Okay. Again, for this assignment, you need to use graph paper. So graph using a table. So my first equation is y equals 5. I already solved for y for us. So we go to the calculator. We go to the y equals. Y equals is again right here. And then I just type in 5. That's it. Okay. I've shown you this before, but this is what we're going to use, is we're going to use this table feature right over here on the calculator. So if I go second table, second key is right here. Okay. And then table's up here. So I go to my table. It has points already in there for me. Okay. Minimally, you have to plot at least 2. I recommend 3 to 5, because that way if you goof up on 1 and you have 3, then you can tell that you maybe goofed up on 1. These are all going to line up in a straight line, okay? So I'm going to take some of these points and I'm going to plot them on my graph. Well, if I plot -4, 5, -3, 5, -2, 5, -1, 5, and we can see that they are all lining up. And we could keep on going. This is more than we already need. So we can draw our line. Again, it's a straight line. It's going to have arrows on the ends. Rulers help. Okay. So let's look at the same thing on the phone. So I go to my y equals, clear out my old one, type in 5. Now this is a little bit different, okay? Because on the phone, the table button is right here. So if I go to table, my table button is right there, okay? You can go to your graph and you can look at it. You can see it's a horizontal line. But again, go to your table. Notice y is always 5. This is called a constant function. All right, next one. This one is already solved for y for us. So we're going to make a table using the calculator. So go to my y equals. I'm on my y equals. Clear my old stuff out. Type in this 3x plus 1. So 3x plus 1. Okay. And then go to my table. You can look at your graph. So I can go to my graph to see it. Okay. It's always good to have a visual picture in your head of what it's going to look like, but then go again, second table. And you can always scroll up and you can scroll down, because like obviously -720 is way off your paper. Okay. Even -4, -11 is off your paper. For this particular graph that I have right here, this one goes down to -6. So even -3, -8 is off my paper. -2, -5 fits. -1, -2, 0, 1. A lot of times those points that have the zeros in them, people get those goofed up, okay? So that's why it's always good. I'm going to keep going. I have 1, 4. And then my next point would be 2, 7, which is also off my paper. So I was able to quickly fit 4 points on there. I can see they all line up. Okay, if you need to use a ruler, draw your lines, put your arrows on both ends. All right, so let's look at the phone. I'm going to go to my y equals. My equation is 3x plus 1. So I'm going to type in 3x plus 1. Again, you can go to the graph to see what it looks like. I want to go in a little bit because this was already from... This was already stretched way out. This is a little bit more comparable to the numbers that are shown here. Again, to go to your table, I'm going to click done. And then your table button is right here. So click table. And then there are those same points. Okay. -2, -5, -1, -2, 0, 1, and 1, 4. Those are the 4 points I was able to fit on there. Draw my line, got my arrows, and I am done. All right. Now this one is not solved for y. Okay, so I have 2x minus y equals -4. I want to get y by itself. If there is a number in front of y, it stays attached to the y. If this is positive, I have to subtract it. If this is negative, I add it. So because it's positive, I have to subtract it. These are not like terms, so I cannot combine them. Okay, so I have a -2x minus 4. It's habit for me to put the x first. You don't have to, but in a couple of days, it will be helpful to you to leave that x first. There's a -1 in front of the y, so I have to divide everything by -1. So y equals 2x plus 4. So that is the equation that I enter in my calculator. Okay. And again, if we go to the calculator, the only button they have is y equals. So that's the only way that you can enter in an equation is if it's solved for y. So 2x plus 4, 2x plus 4. Again, I can look at my graph. So I'm going to hit my graph key to see what it looks like. And then I can go to my table to get those points. Some of them, again, are going to be off my graph. So for this particular one, I can start at -5, -6, -4, -4, -3, -2. You can see they're lining up nicely. I'm just going to keep going. -2, 0, -1, 2, 0, 4, 1, 6. I personally like to get all of them all the way across so they can see they're all lined up, and I just have to play a nice quick connect the dots. So again, on the phone, go to the y equals, clear it. I'm going to type in, again, this equation, the 2x plus 4. So 2x plus 4. Again, I'm going to go to my graph to look at it. And then go to my table. Table's again right here. And again, you can just scroll by touching and grabbing to get those points. It's the same points. All right, one more. If y is by itself, it's pretty easy because all I have to do is move the x term, whatever it happens to be, to the other side. So it's positive, so I'm going to subtract it. So I have y equals -x plus 3. Okay. So again, on my calculator, y equals negative x plus 3. Graph, to look at my graph. Now notice this one's going down. I'm going to go to my table to get my points. So I go second table. And then plot my points. So first one I can fit on there is negative 3, 6. So negative 3, I got 3 to the left and 6 up. Negative 2, 5. Negative 1, 4. Negative 3. Oh, sorry, 0, 3. 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 0. And we'll talk about these patterns because you can kind of notice a pattern. And if you notice a pattern, you can keep going with your pattern. But again, today we're not dealing with the patterns. We're just dealing with plotting points. 5, 2, negative 2, and 6, negative 3. And I used my table on my calculator to plot all those points. And you can see they all line up very nicely. All right, one more time on the phone. Y equals, clear it. I again have to type in the one that's solved for y, negative x plus 3, negative x plus 3. I can go to my graph to look at my graph. And I can go to my table to get my points. And these are the same points that were on this table. Okay, same exact points. And that's what you need to do to be able to graph using a table. Now, I'm going to give you one more. That I practice solving for y. Okay, so again, this number stays with the y. So I have to move my x over. Every time I'm going to move my x over. So this is a negative, so I'm going to add 2x. Again, these are not like terms. I cannot combine them. So I have 3y equals 2x plus 6. And then just like on the other one, I had a negative. This one I have a 3. Process is the same. I have to divide everything by 3. So 2 over 3, there's nothing to do. It's 2/3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So then I could again plug that in my calculator. So the process again is always the same. I take whatever my x term is, I either add it or subtract it to move it over. These are not like terms. They cannot be added or subtracted. They have to stay separate. And then whatever number is in front of my y, if it's not a 1, I have to divide by that number to get y by itself. And I might end up with fractions, might not.